No woman can say motherhood hasn't changed her, but every mother's story is different.
We thought we'd do a bit of an introduction episode today. So I'm Jenna Yates.
I am Kerrie Turner.
And this is how motherhood changed me. It's finally happening, Kerrie.
We're doing it. We are doing this.
We have had this in the works for years, and I've just gone and had another baby and another baby and another baby, and it's put it off. But
it has been years.
It has.
We first talked about this so long ago, but we didn't know what the podcast would be.
We knew we wanted it to be about motherhood and
experiences and change.
That's right. Because for us, I mean, we met before we were mums. I guess in the intro for you, you were about to have your first, and I actually filled in for Kerrie her maternity leave.
You did.
So it's all kind of interwoven, and it just makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. We finally narrowed down, rather than just being a very broad, we're just going to talk about being mums. We've narrowed it down and we're here.
Yeah. So I guess the whole premise of the show is to discuss the ways in which motherhood changes us. There are so many. You know, there's the physical changes, there's the emotional changes, there's spiritual changes. I mean, the list goes on.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be exploring that as we take you through and talking to some really interesting and exciting guests along the way as well. There's a lot to unpack, Kez.
There really is. And like we say in the intro, every woman has a different story.
Absolutely.
Their experience of motherhood is different, but we have all changed.
So if you're thinking these girls look so comfortable behind the microphone, yes, you were right.
Funny that.
It is. We are radio journalists. So this seems familiar enough, although I haven't been doing it for 6 years. So it's like, is this thing on?
She's back. She's back.
But since becoming a mum, you've changed things up too, Kez. So tell everybody what you're up to now.
Yeah, I have. I was working in full-time radio, and after I had both my babies, I did go back to that role. But it became a time in my life where I really reassessed when my eldest was ready to start school.
Exactly.
And radio work is shift work, and it's hard.
It doesn't match.
And my kids had been in full-time childcare, and the childcare educators were seeing more of my kids than I was, and my eldest was about to start school, so I was about to see even less of her. And then the thought of how do you juggle school holidays and how do you make the pupil free days work, and it all just seemed too much. And I wanted to help that huge step in my daughter's life be as smooth as possible. So for me, I was ready to step away. So I had done radio for over 20 years full-time, and it was time for me to give something back to someone else. And I walked away from full-time radio to support my daughter, and family changes and all of that comes with starting school, and still do it, but as a casual now. So I'm back behind the mic now and then, and it's nice. It's a really good balance. I keep my finger in the radio world, which, as we know, once you're in radio, you can never completely leave it.
So true.
And I also have my own business. So I'm a marriage celebrant and get people married on weekends.
Still talking into that microphone.
Still talking into a mic, yes.
It's so funny. People often ask me, are you going to get back into it? And I have this line that I say to literally everybody who asks me, you know, something has to change when you feel like you're getting more sleep with a newborn than you are in your job. And that's exactly how it felt for me. It was just the hours, the shifts, getting out of bed at 3 a.m.
It's hard.
It's hard work. It really is. And I just couldn't see how I could make that fit with somebody to care for.
Yeah.
My husband's job is quite busy. So, yeah, I actually threw the towel in when I was severely morning sick with my firstborn, literally throwing up in between my news bulletins. I'd play a little snippet of audio, and I'd have the bucket there, and I've
been there.
It was
hard.
It was rough, and I was like, I think maybe I need to stop this. Yeah. So I've just been full-time mum for six years, and it's wild. You know, when I think about how motherhood changed me, it is huge in every single way. I feel like I'm almost now my youngest is sort of, he's off the boob now. I'm kind of got my body back to myself. I've either been pregnant or breastfeeding that whole time. It's sort of all overlapped. And I feel like I have a bit of myself back now. And it's so exciting that this project is getting off the ground now. It's sort of coinciding with me finding myself again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
and you're a creative person. You've got so much to give creatively that I'm so excited that we get to do this together, and you can navigate the next step of motherhood with me.
Yes, and it's good for the kids to see us doing something as well. I think there was one moment where my son said to me, he was very little, he was maybe 2, and he was just angry at me for telling him he couldn't do something, and he was like, "You get back to the kitchen."
Oh!
And I said to my husband, "Is this all I'm worth to him?" You know, it's real. I think it's a good thing that they're seeing me do something finally for myself.
100%.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's exciting. Now, I want to ask you, if there is one word to describe yourself, past life, Kez, before you had kids, what's one word that you would have
pre-kids,
Kez?
One word. Fun.
And what's that word now that you've become a mum?
That I would give myself or my children would give me?
No, that you would give yourself.
I would say exhausted.
Yeah.
Would have to be the top of the list. Fulfilled, though, is up there, but exhausted is number one.
Isn't that interesting to see that contrast? And you compare going out when you were younger and you're hungover and you have all the energy in the world the next day. Not saying that's the only way you can have fun, but
I may or may not have on some occasions gone from a bar to a radio shift a long, long time ago.
Couldn't do that these days.
No way.
No, you've got lunches to pack, Kerrie.
I do. Yeah. School drop-off to do. What uniforms to wash. It's never ending.
Never ending. Yeah. Would you like me to give you my word?
Please.
So I was thinking about what my word would be. And I'm going to have to go with ambitious before.
Oh, I like it.
Maybe things changed a little bit when I met my husband, but I can remember as a journo student seeing the sunrise crew at the front of Martin Place when they were there in Sydney. Yeah. And I told one of the girls, I wanted to be Nat Barr. I wanted to be her reading the news on TV. And I was like, I'm going to have your job one day.
And you lived in Sydney.
Lived in Sydney.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, very ambitious. I moved across the country to have my first job in radio. And, of course, first place I landed, met my now husband, and the rest is history. But
love wins.
I was very ambitious back in the day. And now I would say I feel like the best word to describe me is selfless. And I know that sounds a bit wanky, but it's true. But I am working on it. And I think
well done.
I think I can be a better mum if I can be a bit better for myself.
Well done.
So that's what I'm working on. It's a work in progress, so
You'll
stay
get there.
tuned. But yeah, that is a little bit about us.
It is.
That is what we wanted to share with you today, and we will be back with more exciting things to unravel about how motherhood has changed us and some
stories,
other
conversations, experiences. It's all happening.
So thank you so much for listening, and please stay with us, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you so much for joining us on How Motherhood Changed Me. We'd love you to be part of the conversation by connecting with us on social media. And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review and subscribe.